from Gsport again. Just wanted to do another video here. You'll see in the background we have Nigels MNR sports cars. It's a kit car obviously there. This one is, we've done a bit of work there, we've put an exhaust on it. We had it on the dyno there, we've fitted a Flatshifter, other bits and bobs, bit of tuning and that type of thing. So pretty interesting little video, and I'll show you around the car now. So yeah, Nigel's car, it's an MNR sports cars kit. Has a Kawasaki ZZR1400 engine from a motorbike. I think from the factory, the 1400 engines I read on Wikipedia, there's somewhere between 190 horsepower and about 207 horsepower from the factory, depending on which model it is and what year it is and that type of thing. So I'm not sure exactly which one this is. It did make 203 horsepower in the dyno after tuning, which was about what I expected, so it seems to be fit and healthy enough. So anyway, this is the exhaust that we built, full custom manifold, 4-into-1, going back, just a basic silencer there and a straight cut bend there for the tip. So pretty straightforward. There's an O2 sensor in there just before the silencer as well that we needed to put in for tuning, so it's in there at the minute. There's Charlie, he's the new Gsport mascot. Okay, so a little bit more in around the engine. We have, the car came in already with this little box in here, is a Dyno Jet Power Commander 3. So that's essentially just a piggyback fuel controller. Doesn't do anything else other than control the fuel. But this car, it needed quite a bit of adjustment to that Power Commander when it came in. It failed emissions in the MOT test. It was running very, very rich, so we were able to trim that all out, so it should be good to go now. Also fitted, as well as the exhaust, we fitted in here this Flatshifter box. So basically just a box that allows you, the driver, to do full throttle shifts without the clutch, and it also blips the throttle on the downshift for you. Fairly basic, very simple setup, but these Flatshifter boxes have been about for quite a while. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with them. So we fitted that. Had a bit of an issue, but the guys at Flatshifter were excellent. They just sent a new box out straight away and plugged a new box in, and it's worked flawlessly. So we have a before and after dyno video there, which I'll show at the end of this video. I'll add it on, but for now what I want to show you is just the results from the before and after. So this is going to be the results with and without the Flatshifter. So basically one dyno run with me using the clutch and changing gear, and one without, and you can see there's quite a drastic difference, at least for the upshifts anyway. You can see Nigel there, he's put in the flappy paddle shifters, so plus and minus up and down, pretty basic, but works very, very well. Digi dice and everything, so it's a nicely set up little car. Toyo R88s, sorry, R888s, front and rear. I'd say it would be rapid enough. As I said, made 203 horsepower after we sorted the fuel map out there in the dyno. So anyway, this is the plot. Pretty much all this is two graphs. Now the brighter line, this one here, is using the Flatshifter. So we were able to get, a full sort of, that's starting from second, so that'll be second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. This one is without the Flatshifter. Unfortunately, for some reason the dyno, it cut off there, but we can still get the information that we need. So you have to account for a little bit of sort of tire slippage and slight discrepancies in time, but you can see very, very clearly. This one, so you're coming up through second gear here, clutch and change gear drops it right down to almost zero. This is the horsepower curve, so almost zero, and then it takes a bit of time to get back up. You have a bit of a wobble there and back up in the third, and the same will happen for the rest of the gears, whereas the Flatshifter albeit it does look very up and down still, but much quicker. And you'll see from the video again, that I'll post up, I'll add it on to the end of this video. You'll see from the video on the dyno just how quick the Flatshifter operates. It's simply, all it does is just cuts the, it's a very simple straightforward install. If anybody's looking at any work on them, certainly give us a shout. So this is the control box. We have this little diaphragm here, which is for the downshift. We also have, you may or may not see it in the bottom there, let me just get a light in. So basically this bar down in here, we can see, is on the shifter rod. This is the shifter rod here. So it comes all the way up, and what you have in there is a strain gauge. So it pretty much senses the force, you know, the push and the pulling force on the shifter rod, because obviously it operates in both directions. So when it senses a push or a pull, so it'll translate that into an upshift or a downshift. Sends a signal up through here into the Flatshifter box, and then that again. So on an upshift, what will happen is we have tapped into the wires here for the ignition coil. So on an upshift, it will momentarily cut the ignition, so it basically kills the power and allows you to perform the upshift, then brings the power back in again. And on a downshift, it doesn't kill the power, but it takes a vacuum feed off your inlet and pulses it to this diaphragm, which is basically a throttle kicker, and it kicks open a throttle for you, so it gives you a bit of a throttle blip on your downshift as well. Really easy install, straightforward, but they work really well. Again, as I say, you'll see from the video that I'll add on next. So yeah, enjoy the video, and as I say, you know where to come if anybody's looking, engine management, installs, exhaust, anything like that. Of course, just give us a shout on the Facebook page. You can go onto the YouTube channel and see all the videos. So I'll enjoy the video. So just one last thing before I forward you onto this other video of the dyno runs. Just wanted to mention, you'll see me wearing quite a big beanie hat. The reason being, it was about 0 degrees in this workshop at the time of the dyno video, and I was sitting in the car right in front of the cooling fan, which is a 10 horsepower cooling fan, and it throws out quite a bit of air at quite a bit of speed, so much so to the fact that it was actually condensing the fog that was in the air and spitting it out in my face as water. So I just wanted to add that in. My wife told me I looked like a big kid in a toy car, so go ahead and enjoy the video anyway.